In the headlines of this hour on VTV News. National Assembly seeks measures to combat corruption and negativity in lawmaking. And new land laws revitalize Vietnam's real estate sector. In our world news, Hamas announces their new political leader.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Good afternoon. It is 3 p.m. local time and you're tuning in to VTV News. I'm Huyen Trân with the top stories. National Assembly Chairman Trần Thanh Mẫn held a session on Wednesday with the Economic Committee, the Committee on Science, Technology and Environment, and the Finance and Budget Committee. Now, despite high workloads and complex tasks, the committees have largely met their legislative goals as planned for the entire term. The National Assembly Chairman emphasized strict adherence to Politburo Regulation 178 to prevent corruption and negativity in lawmaking. He called for clear, objective opinions on policies, especially regarding sensitive issues, and urged revisions of draft laws for the upcoming National Assembly session. Additionally, he stressed the importance of clarifying the scope and methods of the National Assembly's supervision, ensuring a thorough preparation of materials from the outset, and promptly recognizing individuals with outstanding achievements. The land law, housing law, and real estate business law have recently come into effect. Along with over 10 related decrees and circulars issued recently, these laws are expected to remove many bottlenecks and unlock resources, thereby increasing the housing supply in the real estate market.
A series of abandoned projects and urban areas across Hanoi, turnaround projects abandoned for many years in Thanh Hóa, 100 billion Vietnam dong projects delayed in Hà Tĩnh, many projects initiated to hold land, only to be subsequently abandoned in Ho Chi Minh City. This situation will no longer persist. With 3 new land laws now in effect, strict measures will be implemented to address violations.
We'll immediately withdraw and cancel the land allocation results. This requires businesses to work and commit to completing the project, and not arbitrarily change functions of the land.
For feasible projects currently hindered by legal procedures, the new regulations will provide localities with specific solutions.
Investors will have their legal needs resolved so that they can invest in more projects, provide products to the market, and gain profits.
New projects now face stricter procedures, including negotiating land clearance at near market prices and paying land taxes, which will increase costs. However, investors believe that having clear regulations from the outset will enable businesses to be more proactive.
I've seen quite a fair bit in China in terms of regulation.
I came to the Vietnamese market to invest long-term, so this policy change will help the market have higher transparency, entering a new, more sustainable development cycle.
It's not impossible to be here.
Buyers and tenants are given favorable conditions to access social housing projects as residency requirements and many other constraints are removed. Investors also benefit from exemptions on land use fees and land rents.
Businesses now receive clear instructions on utilizing 20% of the land for commercial purposes. They can implement this on-site or acquire new land to fulfill this requirement.
This is expected to increase the supply of social housing. Along with stricter regulations, the 3 land laws help prevent price inflation and manipulation, thus enabling buyers to access social projects at reasonable prices.
The Ministry of Construction has announced that 4 more commercial banks have registered to join the 120 trillion Vietnam dong, or over $5 billion credit package for social housing development. Now, these banks are TP Bank, VP Bank, MP Bank, and Techcom Bank. Each bank has registered to participate with an amount of $213 million. This brings the total of banks participating in this credit package to 8. Previously, 4 state-owned commercial banks were involved, including BIDV, Vietinbank, Agribank, and Vietcombank. According to the Ministry of Construction, 78 projects are currently eligible for preferential loans. However, banks have only disbursed over $55.5 million so far. The State Bank has finalized a draft resolution to adjust the program by reducing loan interest rates by 3 to 5% for customers purchasing social housing. Vietnam's benchmark VN Index rose 1.87% on Tuesday, returning to a key sentimental level after plunging to a 3-month low on Monday due to negative developments in the U.S. and Asian stock markets. The recovery on Tuesday shows that the Vietnamese stock market has its own characteristics in terms of listed business structure, leading to internal factors driving the market.
Vietnam's benchmark VN Index rose by 22.21 points to 1,210.28 points on Tuesday after dropping 48.53 points in the previous session. Liquidity reached 613 million shares, equivalent to 92% of the average of the last 20 sessions. After the Japanese yen's recent fluctuations, Japan's main stock index, Nikkei 225, fell more than 12%, the sharpest decline since Black Monday, October 1987. A series of stock markets from the US to Europe also tumbled, while VN Index lost nearly 4%.
So what we saw from yesterday, with the dollar going down a lot already, it dropped I think 0.7% yesterday. We saw that the dong actually strengthened to 25,100. Now the market is saying the Fed's going to cut 2 or 3 times this year. So we're actually increasing our base case forecast for the VN Index.
According to statistics from Vina Capital, the profits of 95% of listed businesses achieved an average growth of 20.6% in the first half of the year, and it is likely to continue to maintain high growth momentum in the second half, creating internal attractiveness in the stock market.
We changed the profit expectations of listed companies for the whole year of 2024 to above 20%, and around 20%, 2025, which shows that the Vietnamese economy is developing well, and businesses, especially list ones, are recovering strongly.
The statistics of markets recently upgraded from marginal to emerging show that all of them have an increasing trend in the 6 months before the official upgrade. For example, if Vietnam were upgraded in March 2025, the rising wave would appear from September to March.
Experts say that the macroeconomy and the stock market have shown potential in the medium and long term. But investors need to be careful, because somewhere there are still hidden risks of fluctuations from world markets.
The past 7 months' result shows that Vietnam continues to be an attractive destination for foreign investors. Both registered and implemented FDI have continued to increase compared to the same period last year by 10.9% and 8.4% respectively. Now, many large-scale, high-quality projects in the processing and manufacturing sectors are expanding their investments in Vietnam.
With a total investment of $90 million USD on an area of 8 hectares, this factory is to be a production center for a U.S. corporation in Vietnam.
We are not only meeting domestic consumption demand, but are also exporting to Southeast Asia and Asia-Pacific regions, including difficult markets like Australia and Japan. In the next 10 years, we aim to double our capacity.
According to foreign business associations, industrial parks and ready-built factories are in high demand among European and U.S. enterprises. For instance, Ha Nam province has 10 industrial zones and clusters approved for investment. Occupancy rates in many zones reaches over 90%.
We are focusing on speeding up infrastructure investment processes, especially the infrastructure connecting Ha Nam industrial parks with national expressways and railways. This helps investors reduce production costs and product prices and enhances competitiveness.
Integrated infrastructure is facilitating the shift of FDI capital. Statistics show that in the past 7 months, new FDI registered capital and the number of FDI projects have both increased. Notably, the average investment capital per project is more than 5.9 million USD, higher than the 4.9 million USD per project in the same period last year.
FDI interest and consistent FDI inflows into Vietnam, and a large part of it has poured into the manufacturing sector, which is one of the main pillar growth sectors here in Vietnam.
We are expecting from the authority that they will go, as they have already started to do, on the sustainable development, which is the key driver.
The advantages from free trade agreements are creating significant leverage for Vietnam to attract more FDI and boost exports. However, Vietnam needs to improve its business environment, administrative procedures, and develop infrastructure and human resources to make the most of this investment flow.
253 trade defense investigations have been conducted on export goods since the beginning of the year. Now, according to the Ministry of Industry and Trade, the United States initiates the most trade defense investigations against Vietnamese exports, accounting for nearly a quarter of the cases, followed by India, Turkey, and Canada. The number of cases has not only increased rapidly, but the range of products under investigation has also expanded. In agriculture, forestry, and fisheries, there are 11 cases involving products such as crayfish, shrimp, rice, and most recently, honey. The Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development and the Ministry of Industry and Trade have jointly proposed establishing a National Rice Council to the government. This council will serve as a forum for ministries, sectors, localities, businesses, scientists, and farmers to discuss and reach consensus on key decisions related to the rice industry. The council is expected to research and propose policies, strategies, and mechanisms to the government and Prime Minister, aiming to create a transparent and effective legal environment. This will ensure market stability and development, promote comprehensive and effective growth of the rice industry, and contribute to a social security, national food security, and sustainable production and export. Now, in the south-central provinces, lobster seed prices have skyrocketed amid stricter controls on imports and the smuggling of lobster seeds. Now, with seed costs climbing up but shrimp prices remain stagnant, fishermen are now exercising extreme caution when releasing their stocks. In some regions, this has even led to a complete halt in lobster farming.
For years, this shrimp farmer has depended on 100 lobster cages for his income. But this year, he has halted production. In An Hoa Hai Commune, Phie Province's largest lobster breeding area, the number of lobster cages has dropped from 8,000 to just 2,400, a 70% reduction.
The current market is not suitable for shrimp farming. High seed prices can cause a loss of 30 to 55%.
Lobster seed prices, which were typically around $2 each, have recently risen to 2.78 to 3.77 US. Fishermen have reported high loss rates of about 30 to 40%, with some households experiencing losses of up to 50%. If lobster prices remain unstable, these losses could worsen.
With high seed prices, an unpredictable market, and a heavy reliance on the Chinese market, people are being very careful about releasing lobster seeds. On top of that, the high loss rates are driving up costs.
The Phie fisheries industry advises fishermen to exercise caution due to the recent price surge and mass die-offs in some local farms caused by high farming density. Fishermen are advised to exercise caution in lobster farming, as the number of lobster cages in Phie province has skyrocketed to 186,000, 3 times the planned amount. Meanwhile, fishermen have only officially reported about 45,000 cages.
Now, before we move on to other important updates, let's take a look at the foreign exchange rates of today, August 7th. Coming up next on VTV News. National grid to reach Gondao Island. And innovative mini fire trucks enhance residential safety. Welcome back to VTV News. The Hòa Bình Provincial People's Committee has declared a state of emergency due to severe landslides affecting numerous provincial roads. The province is concentrating its efforts on addressing and repairing damaged infrastructure on Provincial Road 435, a vital road connecting Hòa Bình City with Bình Thanh, the Thum Nai commune of Cam Phong District, and Ngoi Hoa commune of Tân Lạc District. Landslide damage threatens both infrastructure safety and transportation for residents in Ngoi and Liêm hamlets and Suối Hoa commune, Tân Lạc District. If the road becomes impassable, no alternative route will exist, forcing residents to rely solely on inland waterways for travel. Recent heavy rains have put 8 households in Ngoi hamlet, Suối Hoa commune at high risk due to subsidence and land cracking, posing a threat to the lives and property of residents. Now, after years of anticipation, the national power grid is set to extend from Sóc Trăng province to Côn Đảo district in Bà Rịa Vũng Tàu province. This project promises to enhance islanders' daily lives and business operations by addressing power shortages. The new grid is expected to significantly boost the region's economic and social growth.
Côn Đảo Power Company, which operates the An Ho diesel power plant, currently serves over 2,400 customers, with production and generation costs approaching $11.9 million. The company faces an annual deficit exceeding $7.9 million due to electricity prices being set based on mainland rates.
Since the factory runs around the clock, our company needs to handle repairs in 3 or 4 shifts to address issues promptly. Another challenge is that during the rainy and stormy season, getting materials and supplies to the factory can be tough.
Recognizing this challenge, the local community and authorities collaborate to conserve electricity. To bolster economic development, security, and national defense, the National Assembly has approved the Vietnam Electricity Group's power grid extension to Côn Đảo. The project has finalized its route, feasibility study, and field survey, marking a key national initiative.
The new power grid will supply all necessary electricity for island tourism businesses and attract major investments, boosting local development and growth.
The National Grid project for Côn Đảo Island District, backed by a $198 million investment from the state budget and EVN, is set to run from 2023 to 2026. The initiative aims to ensure a stable and secure power supply for the region.
Bringing up price-stabilized goods to the doorsteps of disadvantaged and low-income workers is one of the aims of the recent mobile sales market stabilization program in Ho Chi Minh City. Notably, some items in the mobile sales have been heavily discounted. This is a new feature of the market stabilization program that has been implemented for the last 20 years. This also aligns with the Prime Minister's request to prevent price increases that might offset salary raises.
Selling a lottery tickets since 5 a.m., Lê Thị Hà and her granddaughter were the first to arrive at the 2024 Market Stabilization Program. Even small increases of 20 to 40 cents per shopping trip can become a burden, so Hà eagerly anticipates opportunities like this.
I buy rice and other things needed for the month. It's great to stop by a nearby place to shop for essentials.
This pilot mobile sales initiative unites manufacturing enterprises and distribution chains in their goals of connecting with consumers and fostering community goodwill.
Although there is a supermarket system, all products are discounted by 15 to 20%, and we also offer many giveaways.
Employees in industrial parks work in shifts, so they can't go to markets or shopping centers frequently. so we go to their places to help them save time and travel costs.
The Mobile Market Stabilization Program will run for 30 days, featuring over 500 products from 9 participating businesses. Ho Chi Minh City aims to provide 300,000 workers with access to essential consumer goods through this initiative.
This program will ensure that prices do not have the opportunity to increase following salary increases to stabilize the city's consumer market.
The implementation of non-cash payment methods and these mobile sales sessions will contribute to Ho Chi Minh City's 2024 digital transformation goals while boosting consumer spending.
After numerous fatal house fires, some communities have equipped themselves with fire prevention and rescue equipment, even constructing their own fire trucks for residential areas. These mini fire trucks offer the advantage of mobility and are capable of navigating narrow and deep alleys, enabling people to quickly extinguish small fires as soon as they are detected.
After more than 2 years, Tin Sui Theng has completed the mini fire truck. Despite its small size, the vehicle is equipped with essential firefighting, rescue, and relief tools, such as demolition equipment, rope ladders, retractable ladders, and forceps. Thanks to its compact design and speed, this fire truck can quickly reach areas where fires or explosions occur.
I wanted to build this mini fire truck to provide rapid support when there is a fire in the residential area I live in. It is very compact, more than 1 meter wide, so it can go into small alleys, making it very maneuverable. From the time the water is turned on, about 20 to 30 seconds later, there is enough water to put out the fire.
Our idea was to have a small vehicle to support people in small alleys and places where fire trucks cannot enter.
Tested on site, the vehicle swiftly extinguished the fire. It holds 300 liters of water, and its nozzle can propel water 30 meters away and nearly 10 meters high, reaching the height of a second-story window.
We will continue to promote and replicate this model throughout the town.
After testing, the vehicle proved capable of extinguishing fires on site while awaiting authorities' arrival. The small compact fire truck can get into narrow, deep alleys and immediately extinguish fires. Combined with the team's quick response readiness, this innovation helps residents feel more secure against fire and explosion risks.
Coming up next in our world news, Hamas announces their new political leader. And Kamala Harris announces presidential campaign's running mate. Now moving on to our world news, Hamas has officially named Yahya Sinwar as the head of its political office following the assassination of its previous leader, Ismail Haniyeh, in Tehran on July 31st. Sinwar, a key figure in Hamas Gaza operations and a principal planner of the October 7, 2023 attack on Israel, is known for his hardline stance. Under his leadership, Hamas has stepped up its military operations against Israel. His appointment signals a potential escalation in hostilities, as Israel has listed him as a top target in its ongoing conflict with Hamas following the October 7th attack. Russian training ship Smolny of the Baltic Fleet arrived at the port of La Guaira in Venezuela on Tuesday. The ship departed from Havana after a 3-day visit to Cuba. Now, according to the Russian embassy in Venezuela, this visit is aimed at bolstering bilateral relations in energy, tourism, agriculture, and the economy between Russia and Venezuela. Venezuela is one of Russia's key allies for Russia in Latin America, with regular military and technical exchanges between the two nations. This visit follows a similar one in July, when several Russian military ships also anchored in Venezuelan waters. U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris has selected Minnesota Governor Tim Walsh as her running mate in her Democratic presidential campaign. Walsh, 60, a former National Guard member and teacher, is known for his support for progressive policies like free school meals and expanded paid leave. The choice of running mates is one of Ms. Harris's important decisions in the race against the Republican duo Donald Trump and J.D. Vance in November. Harris and Walsh are set to make their first public appearance together on Wednesday, local time in Philadelphia, to kick off a campaign tour through key battleground states.
Good evening, everyone. Tim Walsh.
Now, every year on August 5th, at the height of the fierce Italian summer, Romans flock to the ancient Basilica of Santa Maria Maggiore to celebrate one of the city's strangest miracles. The event recreates a miraculous summer snowfall that occurred at the site of the future church on August 5th, 358 AD. More importantly, it offers residents and visitors alike a chance to cool down amid the sweltering heat.
Despite overnight temperatures near 30 degrees, Romans were able to enjoy the beauty of a fake snowfall in the center of the Italian capital on Monday, August 5th. With their eyes turned towards the sky, citizens and tourists enjoyed a light show and a fake snowfall commemorating the miracle of Our Lady of the Snow, linked to the foundation of the Basilica of Santa Maria Maggiore.
It is, first of all, very impressive. I haven't seen it for years, and it moved me so much. It's a strong show. It hits the feeling.
Its significance is that it suggests that anything is possible.
Tradition holds that the basilica, dedicated to the Virgin Mary, was built where the miraculous snow fell. Since 1983, every 5th of August, the miracle is reenacted with a great spectacle that enchants the eternal city with its snowflakes.
Having born in my soul this love for the future and for beauty, I invented this technology, which is a white dust, which hovers in space like a feeling of peace. It is clear that Our Lady performed the real miracle. We are humble people who can only do something scenic that represents life today.
According to legend, on the night of the 5th of August, 358 AD, the Virgin Mary appeared in a dream to the then Pope Liberius, asking him to build a church on the spot she had indicated. Upon waking up, the Pope found the Esquilin Hill covered in snow in the middle of August.
Now let's move on to the weather forecast. And that's all the news we have for this hour. To rewatch our program, you can download our mobile app at VTVgo or check out our YouTube channel, VTV4Go. Thank you for watching and see you next time.